All right. And next, Ken Goetch. Ken, you want to do the accountability report?
Sure.
Or do we want to do Julia first? Is that your call? All right.
Yeah, this will be a quick report because we do have the board retreat coming up in a couple of weeks that's going to be covering this information and very much more. First part of the report is to go over the investment report. We're required by board policy to do a quarterly investment report to the board, and the detailed report prepared by our financial advisor, Public Financial Management Inc. was included in the board's portal. So this is just a brief highlight. First of all, the market update notes the improved pace of economic expansion. Interest rates are rising, stocks are moving higher, and the stock market volatility is an all-time low. In terms of our portfolio itself, the report notes the new diversification of our investments, improving yields, and investments are now in compliance with state statutes and board policy. Also, a little brief note, this is the first report for our financial advisor. Next quarter's report will include a little bit more information. They need 3 months worth of data to calculate total return. So this month's report just uses yield information to show return, but next quarter's report will also use total return as part of the outlook. And then finally, the report goes in to show a projection of future economic outlook, and it notes that interest rates are rising, Federal Reserve Bank is maintaining current monetary policy, and there are certain risks on the horizon with inflation potentially upticking, and the prospects of a trade war could certainly slow down economic expansion. And then this one slide kind of is a nice visual that shows all the components of our portfolio. You can see investments of about $90 million in 3 separate fund groups. And as you can see, the yields are certainly very decent. A year ago at this time, we'd be earning around 50 basis points, so this is well over double what we were earning a year ago. And you can see on the right the sector allocations, the portfolios being invested across different security sectors, and we're certainly in a nice, highly graded investment instruments. Next part of the report we'll look at is the financial update. This is a 6-month report. Really the bottom line is we're doing very well. Revenues are trending ahead of what we expected, and expenses are consistent with last year, or are consistent with what we planned. And this is a graphic of that same set of statements. You can see revenues doing better than planned and expenses behind plan. In terms of revenues, this slide shows the positive state grant. We received an additional $2.4 million from the prior fiscal year. It was that late legislative session that awarded us additional funds, but we didn't get to record until this fiscal year. We received $2.4 million in December, and so a big part of the positive variance here is from that $2.4 million we received from the state. In terms of spending, we're about $9.3 million to the good 6 months into the year across all the various spending categories. And I know when we get to the board retreat, we'll go into this information in a little bit more detail. But if there's anybody have any questions with the investment or the financial update? Rich?
So on your investment report, the future outlook include trade war. Was this printed today?
No, it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. But today, the day that the president announced tariffs on washing machines and
So some of the risk would certainly lead us to think that that's possible.
okay, well, thank you.
Just one quick thing I'll highlight as Julia is getting ready. The investment report, and this is just a one-page slide, it's much more extensive, and as Ken mentioned, the board will receive a full copy of that once they have additional data to pull. I think the board's really going to appreciate that because, as Ken mentioned, a lot of this work has been at the encouragement of the board. Ken's done a nice job pulling that together with our financial advisors. So, good work.